And welcome to another episode of Strangers in the Alps, a movie podcast, where every week we discuss movies of all kinds of genres, thrillers, slashers, musical comedies.
Dan's Home Videos.
Just kidding. In a very in-depth and somewhat of a ramble, but I'm Dan.
My name is Travis. Travis.
Wow. I was going to do my whole name, and that would take like 10 hours, but I'm Sam.
My name's Frank.
And we're eating popcorn and peanuts while we do this podcast, so it's very movie-like.
Well, people do refer to this
Smacking our lips.
People do refer to this podcast as the Peanut Gallery. So.
Well, here we are. We're in the right place, then.
The one joke that we laugh at.
Frank?
No.
And you know
Not
what?
Frank.
I can officially be done with this podcast now. Y'all, I set
He's
this
free.
up just so y'all can laugh at one joke. I'm free. And now the podcast will get good.
Well, yeah, probably
It'll
will.
get better.
Travis, could you read the back of the VHS tape about the movie that we watched this week?
You slammed your phone really hard.
That was supposed to be a tape.
I know. That's
All right.
crazy.
Let me get this tape out.
This popcorn is really good.
A small
Popcorn is so good.
A small-town farmer's son reluctantly joins a traveling group of vampires after he is bitten by a beautiful drifter.
Yeah, that's good. Do we want to do any kind of a summary of the story?
I can.
Like in a minute?
I don't think Travis should do it.
I can't do that.
Dan, you should do it.
Okay, well, just expanding on what you just said, we have this, it's sort of I'm guessing it's a Saturday night down there in Texas somewhere.
And the feeling's right.
Was it
Arkansas.
Kansas? Or was it Kansas?
I think. At one point they were in Arkansas. It's somewhere in the Midwest, around there.
Arkansas.
Southwest, let's say.
Airlines.
Anyway, our hero guy meets this girl. He's outside of this bar, and he sees her sort of walking around. He goes up and chats with her. She asks for a ride home, gets her a ride home, and along the way, they have this sort of romantic kind of thing going on. I mean, he's immediately attracted to her.
Okay, but like also he was forcing her.
He was being very suggestive.
We can talk about
downright-
that for sure.
Yeah, you almost feel like.
Hold on, let me finish the synopsis.
Can we talk about that? I mean, that's a great point to talk about. I agree.
But finish your synopsis.
But anyway, so he ends up driving her home, and he says, "Oh, before I take you home," she's very anxious to get home. I got to get home, and he thinks it's because she's going to get in trouble with her parents. Finally, he just stops, says, "I'll take you home. You got to give me a kiss." They make out for a minute, then she bites him on the neck, and he becomes infected. And to just kind of go through this very quickly, he has to join up with her group, which is made up of a kid, another woman, Bill Paxton. What's his name?
Lance Henriksen.
Right. Was he in Alien?
I'm going to tell you now.
He was the doctor in the first Alien, right?
No, he was not. He was Bishop in the second one.
Aliens.
And let me tell you now, before you brought it up, this movie is an Aliens reunion. And
kind of is. You're right.
Because you have Lance Henriksen, you have
the alien,
Bill Paxton.
We're getting our ass kicked, man.
Game over, man. And you also have Lance Henriksen's wife, lover,
Diamondback.
Yeah, Diamondback. She is also in Aliens.
Jeanette Goldstein.
Is she one of the Marines?
Yeah, she's one of the Marines, and she was also in Terminator 2.
Dose.
She played.
Okay, so we've gotten off the subject, but that's okay.
And Titanic.
And she was in Titanic. Yeah, she's been in
the Irish mother.
Yeah, she was in a bunch of
hoity-toity
James Cameron films.
Exactly.
Which is who directed this movie?
Kathryn Bigelow.
Kathryn
Bigelow, ex-wife.
Okay, so let me get back.
But let's just point out that I feel like her this is all based off of her
experience with vampires.
Experience and effort. No, God damn it! How dare you?
I'm gonna tell you. I'll agree, Frank. This movie is not. Oh, go on.
I would like to finish this. I love what we're talking about, but let me just finish.
One thing at a time. Yeah.
So he joins this group, which is comprised of a kid, a leader, another girl, Bill Paxton, who's kind of nuts. Well, they're all nuts, and they go on this journey. We see him slowly becoming more and more vampire, with a thirst for blood. It really follows all the classic vampire things for the most part. We'll talk about the stuff where they kind of got away from that. And on the B story is his dad and his sister are are trying to, through the police and then on their own, track him down and rescue him.
And
we get to a point where they all end up together. It's a big shootout. There's a big shootout of the police. Big mob sort of action sequences take place. He's able to become human again. We'll talk about through transfusions. Exactly. Everything turns out okay. He makes her okay through transfusions.
Yeah.
Everybody lives happily ever after. That's the basic story. I mean,
Bada
without
bing,
getting
bada
into
boom.
details, that is the basic
that's
story.
the whole movie.
Yeah, so I think we're done. Now we don't have to talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going home.
So you said basic story. You bring it up. So
Now you go back to what you were talking about.
little bit of backstory. A little bit of backstory.
Bada
A
bing,
lot
bada
of
boom.
bit of backstory.
Remind me though. We'll go back into James Cameron and Kathryn Bigelow because I want to set this up a little bit.
Now, when was
So-
he married to Kathryn Bigelow? Because his first wife was, or one of his wives was the one in Terminator.
Linda Hamilton.
Right. So
Oh,
when
he was married to her?
Yes.
Yeah. When was he
Yes.
married to Kathryn?
He's a
He's had-
womanizer.
And then when Titanic happened, oh boy,
So
What?
Oh boy.
nothing.
we're in the year 1987, and Kathryn Bigelow and co-writer by the name of Eric Red really want to make a Western movie. They trying to get it made, and then they realize, you know what? Westerns aren't big right now. No one's making Westerns. We can't get a Western made. Well, you know what's really big right now? Horror movies and vampire movies. What if we make a vampire movie, what if we make a Western movie?
What's like the movies coming out that's a vampire?
Oh, you
around that
had
time?
Lost Boys.
Oh, okay.
You had I'm just saying, like,
Dracula.
Dracula. You just had a
Oh,
bunch.
yeah.
It's like the end of the 80s. You know, like you had
I
John.
know. I just want to know what movies
Oh
they
yeah,
were.
you had the thing. I'm saying you had a bunch of horror.
Gotcha.
That's the genre that
Yeah,
sells.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
So you have, which I think was very clever. They were like, well, let's make a Western movie that's disguised as a horror movie.
Well, you also
with
had
vampires.
you also had horror movies being made with a budget
Yeah.
in the 80s, unlike unlike earlier where they were really B movies. Whereas like in the 1930s they were made with a budget. Those were like A Hollywood movies.
Universal,
Right, but then they became very much like the Vincent Price, the very B movie kind of horror movies.
Campy?
But these became budget movies again. They became Hollywood movies.
Yeah, it was just the big, like I said, Hollywood moves in trends,
Right.
and this was the big thing. So, did any of you get like any of the Western?
Yeah, towards the end when it was Bill and the guy, I forgot his name.
You know, it's weird.
Yeah,
I didn't take it as a Western as much as a gangster kind of movie.
Well,
I thought it was like Bonnie and Clyde kind of movie, and that was the genre they were drawing from.
I kind of took it because so in the beginning, it's kind of when when it cuts to the father and the sister after he gets captured, it very much felt to me like now we cut back to the farm.
When they were running. Wait, what do you mean? What?
What was it? The part? No, we're
The
just
whole B story with the father and the
yeah.
daughter.
When it first introduces
Back
them,
on
and
the
they're at the
farm.
farm.
Gotcha.
That's what it made it seem. It made it seem like they were out in like little house in the prairie, like the
No,
ranch.
I see what you're saying.
And that's what you
Yeah.
had. And now you had Lance Henriksen and them. To me, it almost kind of felt like the gang in like 310 to Yuma, where they were just this big. They were the outlaws. They were what they would do is move town to town to town, robbing the banks, killing people, and that's kind of what they were doing in this movie. Was they were cycling around, but
Robbing cars.
they were robbing cars and feeding, and they were constantly on the move. And it's like instead of them all riding together on their horses, you just had this van that they used and they drove around.
Well, like they would switch up horses, they were switching up vehicles.
Yeah. But
Yeah, I could see it too, because like in the beginning when all of the vampires were kind of hitching a ride, it felt like, yeah.
and didn't the scene at the bar just feel like it was a scene in like a saloon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like the shootout in the saloon, and you even had it where they, after the bar scene, where the one guy gets away and he like tells the police where they're at. That was almost like a Western showdown
Yeah,
too.
you're right.
And then you had the Western showdown at the end.
Yeah.
Where you even had our lead character. He had the cowboy hat
Yeah.
with
Even
the cowboy boots.
Diamondback was wearing the assless chaps.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I
Seven
agree.
was wearing the
Spurs.
Spurs.
Yeah.
Ooh, the way he was killing people.
Oh.
Boop boop.
I will
Like
say
that?
now, the movie didn't really entirely click for me in terms of where I like sat on it until the bar scene.
Yes.
Before then, I was just going back and forth between, okay, I like aspects of this. Okay, don't really like this. And then the bar scene, that's where I was like, okay, you know what? I'll finish this. I mean, I was going to finish it for the episode. But
I like the bar
you know what
scene.
I mean?
I also like the scene where the cops are surrounding the motel.
Yeah, I think those were the strongest scenes in the movie for sure.
That was the stuff that kind of reminded me of like Bonnie and Clyde and those kind of movies from the 60s and
I
early
think when
70s.
they were all together, I think that was like it was better for me when all of the characters were together.
Yeah.
When it was just like him and the girl, I forgot her name, May. I was kind of like, okay.
I liked some of that because actually one of my favorite scenes is when they're when the first time when he needs to feed and she cuts her arm. I think because the soundtrack done by one of my favorite groups, Tangerine Dream, they did it, and I just think the way it was shot in the music, I don't know, like beautiful. I liked that scene when they were together. I don't know. I just think that the cinematography in this movie in general, I thought was incredible. Done by Adam Greenberg, who also shot Terminator 2.
It's a family affair.
It's a family affair. James Cameron has a cameo in this movie.
Does he really?
Yes.
Wasn't he
Interesting.
Homer?
He's the scene with the hitchhiker, the one that flips him off.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, that was James Cameron.
Oh, so speaking about the James Cameron connection, what I was saying earlier is I want it to be like stated that he didn't really have much to do with this film. Like, Kathryn Bigelow's career starts before James Cameron in terms of like them knowing each other and being seriously like connected. This movie came out before they started dating. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, so like when we first started watching it, I thought it was going to be like, oh, you know, they were coming up together, but no, like it should be stated that Bigelow made her own way here.
And I agree, and because
But she got overshadowed for sure.
Oh, for sure.
And then I'm so sorry. When she won the Oscar,
Oh yeah.
I was
Hurt
like,
Locker.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I think, and I agree with Frank. I don't. When I
What'd
was
you win
saying
the Oscar for?
Hurt Locker.
Hurt Locker.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, when I will agree with Frank. I don't think when I keep mentioning Cameron, I don't think it was one of those where I was like, oh, you know how people always say like Spielberg directed Poltergeist.
Yeah.
I don't think it's one of those cases. Like I said, the only things that reminded me of James Cameron in this movie was
the hitchhiker.
the
Literally.
cast,
Yeah.
which was very much. I don't know if it's true. Like I heard a story about how when Kathryn Bigelow was getting ready to cast the movie, they already had the cast together for Aliens. So just kind of like, hey, I have these group of people that work well. Like, just do you want to use them? And they're like, yeah, sure. So they brought them over. I don't know how true that is, but that, and I think it's just because it's the same DP, Adam Greenberg, is I think the movies at certain times, especially when they're in the town at the beginning, when they're in a city, there's shots that remind me very much of like the first Terminator movie. But I think it's just because it's the same DP.
Which one came first?
I think the Terminator was 84 or 83.
Yeah. I think it was
The
84.
original
The
Terminator.
original. But, you know, and like I said, I think, yes, Kathryn Bigelow, I think she has established herself as a director because her next film is actually one of my favorite movies of all time,
Which is?
Point Break.
Oh, really?
Yep.
She did that one?
Yep. Point Break.
Was that the Keanu Reeves?
Keanu Reeves, Patrick Swayze.
Gotcha. That they remade, no?
Yes, they did.
With whom?
Some extreme sports people, where they said the only
Parkour?
law that matters is gravity, and he
It's
jumps.
a parkour movie, right?
I think so. I don't know.
She also did Strange Days, which I
Yes.
really enjoy.
I haven't seen that one. I heard it's good.
It's
I
very
haven't seen
good.
that one either.
It's about like the future, right? Like
Yeah, there's a game that came out in the early, or no, I don't know if it was
Perfect
early,
Dark?
probably early 2000s. No, it was it's called fuck.
Mirror's Edge.
No, I used to play it.
I don't know. I'm just naming random.
It
I don't
was
even
really
know.
cool, but it kind of has like it reminded me of Strange Days a lot, and I used to
My
play.
first
Anyway,
Bigelow movie was The Hurt Locker.
really?
Probably was mine too.
That was really good.
Before we go any further, do we want to just go around and talk about what our pre-thoughts of the movie we're going
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
do?
we forgot.
Yeah, that's funny. That's exactly what I was gonna say.
I mean, do we even need to do that at this point? I feel like we've...
I'll just start and say why I recommended this movie,
Okay.
where it came from. So I don't know if I should say, had the three of you heard about this movie before? Sam, I know I recommended it to you a couple years back.
Yes.
But Dan and Frank,
I've
had
heard the
you ever
name.
heard of this movie
Was this
ever?
your first time seeing it?
Yeah, I had heard the name, but I didn't know what it was about or
You
anything.
had never heard of it?
Never heard of it.
I saw this movie at school.
the CSUN?
at CSUN.
Elementary.
Yeah, Abbott Elementary. That's how I found out about it. I was taking a directing class that was about women in film.
I was watching Blue Velvet in film
Yeah.
class, and you're watching Near Dark.
No, I watched a bunch just because it was
Blue
like
Velvet. Boy, there's a movie.
yeah. We also watched. We need to talk.
Baby
We
wants
need to talk
cookies.
about Kevin, and that was a downer.
That was a
Oh,
downer.
that movie.
Yeah. So
Stay on course, please.
no, I'm saying stay on course.
I don't understand.
Because
I
film,
don't get it.
like school.
Oh,
Okay,
that's-
all right.
No, I had
That's
just seen
clever.
it, and then it was one, like I said, I remember I really liked it, and then I wanted to revisit it, so I said, hey, what better way to force myself to revisit it than to
Retake the class.
suggest it.
Oh.
To force us to see it.
Yeah, to force you guys to see it.
Fair enough.
Because everyone has those movies that you say, I want to rewatch eventually, or watch, and like 10 years go by, and you just never watch it.
Yeah. So next week we're watching Resident Evil again.
Let's do it.
No.
Dan, you ready?
I saw this movie when I was a kid.
Stay on course, please.
Not this movie.
Oh.
I saw a movie called Anzio when I was a kid.
Oh yes.
Robert Mitchum,
Yeah.
Peter Falk. It was like
What?
this. It was the
Columbo.
Battle of Anzio. It was in World War II.
Was the first talkie, right?
And I'm not
That
sure
was
it
the
was.
jazz
Said it
singer.
so
I don't
serious.
think it
Wait,
was-
really?
I don't think it was a full talkie. I think they still had some of the little cards.
The inner-
and
yeah.
the piano, live piano player.
I love
Stay
that
on
live
course,
piano.
please.
I saw this when I was like 10 years old, and I walked out of the theater with my family going, wow, this is like the greatest horror movie I've ever seen in my life. So years later, when Joni and I were together and you could rent videos like The Warehouse and places,
From Video
They
Express.
they had Anzio. I said, oh, we got to see this movie, man. I saw this when I was 10. It's so freaking good.
Oh my.
It's horrible. It's actually a horrible movie.
It's-
And the reason I'm bringing it up is because I wish I'd never seen it again.
Did
'Cause
you
I
watch
would
it?
still think,
That
wow,
was
that
great.
was such
Did
a
you,
cool movie.
did you watch
Yeah.
it all the way through?
Oh, yeah.
That was me with Face Off. I watched Face Off when I was
Oh.
really young, and
You know,
I
some
loved
love
it.
that
people love that
one.
movie.
But then during quarantine, so let me revisit it. And then halfway through, I'm like, oh no, I'm not gonna do that.
You know what?
I want to preserve how I felt about it, so I stopped.
I have certain movies like that, like I will never watch again. Like one of them is, no, I watched it and like it was Three Ninjas. I don't know if you ever saw that.
I saw two ninjas.
Yes.
I didn't see the
yeah,
one or three.
and then there was also
No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
and there was another one. Sam Frank, I know you know this. This movie was the shit when it came out, but then
Three Amigos.
I do like I
Grease too.
recently got the vinyl.
Airplane.
No, I watched that last night. I remember when this movie came out, I was in like first or second grade, and I was like, this looks like it's the coolest movie.
Flubber.
No, Small Soldiers.
Oh.
I saw that in theater
now.
with my
I
kids.
love that one. Yeah.
I saw it in theaters, too.
I want to preserve it
Yeah.
because as a kid, some of those, and then there was
I
also
watch it every week on VHS. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
Just how God intended.
I will
Exactly.
not. But there is one movie though that
All right,
like,
one more
should have
movie,
been,
and then
that movie should have been so much funnier than it was.
Small
in my opinion.
Soldiers?
Yeah.
Soldiers?
I just think it was funny enough. I loved the idea.
yeah.
Well, it's a deconstruction of the American military industrial
The American
complex.
Psyche. All right.
Duh.
What your one other movie?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Now I get it.
Exactly.
All right, what are we talking about?
Okay, Fuzzy Water. Let's keep
pre-thoughts?
finish your
Oh,
thought.
pre-thoughts.
I thought this was going to be about zombies, to be honest.
it does well with the cover.
name, yeah.
Yeah.
With the cover that we have
It's a
on
cool
like
cover though.
I know, that's why I chose it.
yeah, and that's what made me want to watch it because when I saw the cover, I was like, I don't remember this.
Right?
The fact that you can just watch it to watch it, not have to drag us
So
all
what
through
were your
it.
pre-thoughts?
It's
We did
never,
his, which went on forever. And what were yours?
Never
Never
heard
again.
of it until quarantine. Travis told me about it, and I'm like, I have time, so I watched it.
And I think that's what it was.
That was it.
Because I think I told you to watch
Like
it, so
that.
then it would make me rewatch it, and I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Frank, you thought it was a zombie movie.
Yeah, I thought it was a zombie movie. I remember Travis suggesting that we add it, but I didn't, like, I chose that cover just not knowing anything about it. I was like, oh,
Right.
that looks cool. We'll just do that.
Yeah.
And now I've seen it.
Okay, so
Wait, is Bill Paxton dead?
Yes,
Yes,
he blew
yes,
up in the
yes.
truck.
R.I.P.
Oh, I thought you meant in the movie. I was like, yeah, you blew up in the truck.
he passed away.
2017,
Recently, right?
No, like
Oh.
2017,
Yeah,
2016.
it was-
He looks attractive in this movie.
Yes.
Bill
Oh,
Paxton
okay.
was an interesting actor. We can talk about him if we want to later.
Why don't you just talk about him
There
now?
were some he did some really good movies. I really liked Bill Paxton in his early stuff. This would be included.
Twister?
No, see, that's where the departure started. When Bill Paxton became like the lead in movies, I mean,
What
kinda
else had he done?
I feel like he just can't doesn't
Act?
carry him. No,
Oh.
he can act. He's better playing the character parts. He's better playing that second.
Side.
That second. He was great as the car salesman and
In True Lies.
In True Lies, he was hilarious. He was great in Aliens. I mean, he was so good in those
At being,
secondary roles.
yeah.
And then when he became like, oh well, he's kind of good looking. Let's make him a lead. Kind of uninteresting.
You
I
could
don't,
also
I
see
don't
a lead
blame
in.
him. Oh, I'll have to think through that.
I was gonna say, have you seen Frailty?
What's it about?
Okay, so I'm not
I mean,
gonna
just
spoil
real-
it. It's on the list. Bill Paxton is the lead, and he directed it.
Okay.
wow.
I
Really?
will just say it's about a serial killer.
Okay.
But
Well, that
it's-
might be interesting.
it's
Was he the serial killer?
So we're not gonna continue speaking about the movie.
I wouldn't.
So shut your.
I wouldn't put too much on him
Shut your
for
whore mouth.
I wouldn't put too much on his shoulders on Twister because that was not a very well written script. Let's face it. That was.
Well,
Are you gonna watch a new
you
one?
weren't there for the story.
I know somebody who was gripped on it, who gripped on that film. So I
Were
probably,
were
maybe I
they
will.
gripping?
They were gripping onto the fence.
That would be inappropriate.
No,
if
they
I
were
told
they were
you.
trying to hold onto the fence because the
Tell me
tornado.
more.
What did he say?
So my
said it would be
thoughts were, I don't typically do this, but I dislike the title so much
This
that
movie?
yes, I
Mhm.
think this title is a terrible
So you-
title for a movie.
did you
Like,
nearly
literally
Did you look
a
it up?
So then I looked it up to see what it was about.
Oh, okay.
But all I did was read the same thing that Travis read.
Oh,
What
okay.
about-
I
the
didn't
title-
I didn't break it down.
So
I just,
you nearly didn't
I just
watch
thought,
it.
what is this?
But then it works, right? Because it got you thinking. It got you
It
searching
intrigued
it
you.
up.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I think I just needed to know. Okay, what is the premise?
What are you getting
here?
into?
What am I? Yeah, what am I getting myself into here?
Yeah. It's very vague.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That kind of tells you what you're about to walk into. Don't
Yeah.
need to look
Dogs.
it up. Near
Dogs.
Dark. Not a great title, in my opinion. Now, we could talk about the movie on another level, but those are my pre-thoughts. I read the one run-on sentence that Travis read, and I watched the movie last night. Like
We all did.
Like we all did. Like we all literally watched the movie together
Well, we're in a cabin.
in
Different
4
rooms.
different rooms.
Very far apart.
And we all watched it on beep, and it was really great. All right, so
Shrooms is what he
Where are we going?
blurred.
Oh God.
where are we heading here,
We
Travis?
can talk about what the different about how you were like, oh, he was seducing or whatever.
The opening.
Yeah. Because
yeah,
you were saying that he was trying to. What did you say exactly?
Kiss
yeah.
her.
He was like, he was trying to,
Kiss her.
Very
Get it on.
insistent.
he
He
was
was-
trying to get it on with her for sure.
And it's funny because I was
And was
thinking,
being very persistent and pushy, and
yeah, he wouldn't be in this position if he just drove her home.
Yeah.
he absolutely put himself in
So
this
he
position.
was asking for it.
But I'm wondering,
Yeah.
in context
Look
of
at how he was dressed.
1987, in
The
19
cowboy hat.
in 1987, we watched this movie. Are we thinking the same thing
No.
No.
about his
Absolutely
approach?
not.
Because when I was watching, I was thinking, I think their intention, although I agree with you, I think their intention was, oh, he's just a sweet guy who's
Right.
like really taken by this really mysterious, cute girl.
He likes
Playful.
her.
And
Yeah,
he's really
being
exactly.
playful.
and he's really drawn into her, and like really, oh man, I don't know what it is about you, but I got to be a part of it. That's what I think they were trying
Yeah.
to go for.
No, yeah.
But on a different level, like what you were talking about, it almost makes it like, well, you deserve what you got, buddy. And but either way, he deserves what he got because
Right.
he pushed it too far.
You want to know why? He got too near dark.
Ah,
Yeah.
Shouldn't it be called Near Dawn?
No.
that's Breaking Dawn.
I'm just saying, why near dark?
I think the
'Cause once you're
implication
near
is.
dark, you're
Yeah.
there.
I think it's like he got too close to like darkness, which is the
Yeah, I didn't
vampire
read it that
clan.
way.
both.
I read it as
yeah.
night and day. I
Physical
think that's
and
the problem.
Spiritual.
Thank you.
Okay, tell
a
me
metaphor.
something else this actress was in.
Which one?
May?
May?
I don't know.
I don't either. I didn't recognize her. Didn't know who she was.
The only one I
Eternal
recognize.
Sunshine of
Who
the
was-
Darkless something. I don't know.
Her name is
Near
Jenny
Dark
Wright.
too.
Near dark again.
Is that a thing?
Oh, I will say though, because
It's called Nearly Dark.
we're talking about reunions here.
Actually, we weren't talking about reunions.
a while
oh, yes,
ago.
we were. You're right.
So
Lawnmower Man.
one of my favorite, one of
Is that
my
really it?
the Homer, the Homer
Homer.
Homer
Say it
was
right.
in one of my favorite movies
The Goonies.
called
Oh.
called Class of 1999.
I
Never
don't know
heard
what
of
that
it.
is.
And the funny
Wait,
thing
hold
about
on. Hold on. This is one of your favorite movies? I've never even heard of it.
We
Well-
didn't hear about Chopping Mall either, and that's one of his favorites.
It's
So.
one of your favorite movies? Like,
Not
top
really.
50?
No, not really.
Okay.
I just like it took
I
a
feel
fun
He
better
better.
uses
now.
that term lightly.
But
You are
what's
very
funny-
loose with
but-
the word great.
Frank, you will recognize this name because
You can't
Sam
make me.
earlier. Sam was flipping channels and she goes,
Don't
"Oh,
remember.
No,
Don't
Sam.
recognize
Sam
it.
goes, "Oh, The Final Girls. I remember this movie." And I said, "Well, you know, The Final Girls was written by the actor
Oh.
who plays Homer in this movie.
No
Which one's
fucking
Homer?
way.
Homer's the kid,
But he's the oldest.
but he's the oldest.
Yeah.
Damn it! I
Yeah,
really
one-
like
it's
Final
like a
Girls.
third rock from the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. I
I
would
thought
not
that
have.
kid was actually very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I liked when he got caught on fire.
Oh yeah, that was such a good scene.
When it just exploded
And I think
Yeah.
in a
and-
flame.
It looked cool. I liked the slow mo.
I thought it was really creepy though when he went and he saw the girl at the
He was like, "She's mine."
at the
The vending.
vending
I
machine.
Yeah,
think
I thought
it's
so, too.
That was
tragic
creepy.
though too because
Did you remember that was the sister?
No.
I did
didn't
not at
either.
all.
I got there. and,
I was like, who
oh,
is
this
she?
is too bad. And
When
then the
the-
dad walks in. Oh, I recognize you. You, I don't recognize.
That was a great reveal, I thought, because like I said,
Yeah.
I've forgotten to. So when he goes, "Oh, son," I was like, "Oh shit, something's about to happen." But I think that story though with Homer is kind of tragic because, like you said, Homer's the oldest, but is the kid, so Homer can't hang out, can't drink, can't do anything. And I just
He
think
was
to
drinking and smoking. What are you talking about?
And he killed.
oh,
he
yeah,
shot someone.
pretending to be
Dude,
pretending
they
to
have
fall
no
off the
rules.
bike.
They do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
Well, I just think
Can I just say that a lot of the Southernisms I did not understand one bit. Like
what?
It all sounded like those two are crazier than a pork hole on a barn side
Oh, the
midnight
expressions?
tangle.
Oh,
Dan, explain.
I
We
didn't-
can
I
talk
didn't-
about the writing
We're-
anytime you're ready to
Translate.
jump in on that.
Were any of those like? Because I know you
No.
hail from the south.
Those are not. Those are not
Dan.
real. But none of them are real. Like when you live in the South, and there's always that guy who will do those things.
Yeah.
I don't know where you're pulling that
Do
out
you
of your ass.
remember
Man.
any
None of those made
expressions?
sense to me.
he jumped on her like she was made out of ham.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Sure.
That's from Best in Show.
I'm
wa-
just saying that there's always these expressions. I don't know where they come from.
I'm wondering if they were like made up for the movie. Obviously,
I think
but
they
like,
were. Yes.
I wonder if they like just expected people to like just be like, oh yeah.
no, I
I'm
think
sure
they
they
just
say
thought
that.
people would think it was funny.
It's the
Yeah.
one guy.
I really do.
Really?
Yeah.
You thought that they would think that people would see it and be like, nobody says that and laugh about it, or that they thought
Oh,
it would be
that's
funny.
Like it's outrageous. So it's
I
funny.
just have to think, having watched the movie and listened to the words that people were speaking out of their mouths, which we can get into.
The writing was not very strong in this.
Oh Lord.
Dialogue-wise, at least.
Oh Lord. The
I should sing
dialogue
the
was
story.
not strong. Okay.
Let's get into it.
We have to be very sensitive to Travis's feelings right now.
Why?
We
This is
obliterated
a 4.8,
Chopping Mall.
4.9 movie for him.
No, it's
I'm
not.
Sure. Okay.
You end up telling us right away what it is.
No, I'm just saying you can go. I never said this. I just said I think we should talk about this movie.
Dan, can you or Sam, can you think up a fake Southernism to like describe how we're gonna like
I'm sure
nail
Travis
the
can
shit
na-
out of the writing out of this?
Travis,
Oh,
come on with that southernism.
No.
Oh,
No?
grits.
Just that.
Oh, grits.
These grits are dirtier than a pig's
Did a
mud
pig on my
pool.
tractor
There
after
we go.
spring. After a pig on my tractor after the first of spring.
Okay.
Yeah, I need several revisions. I can't write on the fly.
No.
First of all, this was a Dino De Laurentiis movie.
Really?
Who are the what nut?
You don't even know who that is, do you?
Yeah, dude. It's
Yeah,
producer.
A Dinah Lawrence
He
something
produced
something.
this movie, Dino De Laurentiis.
Yeah.
He did like the King Kong
Yeah.
movie. He did a bunch of really big, epic kind of action thriller kind of movies.
Mm.
In fact, I'll look him up while we're talking.
I think I delivered to one of their offices once.
Oh, really?
When I did courier work.
Mm.
Yeah, he was big time, like in the 70s and 80s.
Evil Dead 2.
He did Evil
Travis.
Dead too?
Yes. Manhunter, Blue Velvet. That one's for you. King Kong. Oh, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
He did a lot.
Oh yeah. I remember this one. They distributed Transformers, the animated movie.
Oh yeah.
That one I remember.
Wow.
No,
Producer and all?
he did a bunch of stuff.
I don't know about producing, but
Or is it writing? What was it?
it was just distributing. I
Gotcha,
think.
gotcha.
Yeah, I think it was mostly distribution.
No, for me, I feel like I would have rather the movie either focus on solely May and the main dude. I forgot his name. What's his name?
Main dude,
Main dude. Thank you.
Ca-
Or
cowboy guy.
cowboy guy, the guy that got bit.
Oh, Adrian
the
Pastor.
vampires.
The guy who had Harrison Ford's scar under his
Yeah.
lip. Same exact
His
scar.
name is Caleb.
Caleb, thank you. Why
The
did you
actor's
say
name
that
is
with
Adrian
such-
Pastor.
Yeah.
He was in
You
Heroes.
said that with such hatred for me.
Yeah,
His name
he's
is
not happy.
Caleb.
His name was Caleb.
But
Please
yeah, no.
pay attention when you're watching your movies.
Yeah, so either make it a love story or focus solely on the vampires for me.
But not both.
But not both, because I feel like
Well, I think one needed to lean harder on the other,
Yeah.
and it didn't. It
'Cause-
was very. It was like this.
It was like
It was
half and
going
half.
It
fast.
needed to be a
then
love story
drops.
with this happening,
right.
or this with a love story as a sort of
Yeah.
B story. Instead, they just went, we don't know what.
Because you're going fast
What
when you're
we're
with
doing.
the vampires, and then it drags,
The-
and then it goes, and then it drags,
It
and
really drags when you're
Yeah.
not around the vampires.
The one scene though I did like where it cuts between the love story and the vampires is when I already kind of brought it up, but I'll bring it up again. Is when his feeding for the first time
Mhm.
when she cuts,
Oh, yeah.
and she's saying, "Oh, like you're gonna have the thirst," but then it cuts between that and it cuts to each like
right.
vampire group.
The hitchhiking, yeah.
So it cuts to the hitchhiking, and then not the hitchhiking. It cuts to the kid, Homer,
Yeah.
pretending to be like he fell off his bike, and the person
Well, it
pulls
cuts
over to
to each one of
it
them
cuts
and,
to
and
each
their
person.
kill.
That's what I like. I actually really liked
The
that.
intro was nice.
Yeah,
Yes,
that you
I
saw
agree.
each person. It wasn't like, oh, we're just going to be as a group the whole time.
Right.
Kind of like the Lost Boys,
Mhm.
where they're always
No, I was
together.
okay. I was okay with that.
Yeah, it's
I didn't
boy,
think
it's
all
not
of them
boy.
executed all that well, but I thought it was okay with
Can
that.
you bring up what you were telling me in the car about?
Oh yeah, and that's what I said. Is I also feel like what I really like about this movie and its writing is that every vampire didn't get a backstory.
Mm-hmm.
You just kind of
They're there.
they're there, like, and you can tell they've been there. They've been living their life. You don't know how long, like hundreds of years, and they're kind of at the verge of they're kind of just like we're tired, we're kind of done. Which is, I think, why towards the end when they kind of just face defeat, like Lance Henriksen and Diamondback, when they're in the car and they just kind of do the Thelma and Louise, when they kind of just hold hands.
Yeah.
And then I also feel like at the same time, that's why Homer's just kind of like, okay, like, because I think that's why by the end, why Homer was so upset when the sister wanted, like, it was, I feel like, yeah, like Homer was drinking and smoking, but I feel like Homer, since was a kid, like, just can never connect with anyone.
Like, he wanted a friend.
He wanted a friend, and that's why.
It was just really creepy the way he went about it, though. So
It is. I'm not justifying it. I'm not saying it's
Yeah.
good. I'm just saying, and I think that's why, like, after, it kind of just showed that, like, yeah, like, they're fun and they're having vampires, but it's, like, kind of getting old for them. It's kind of run their course, and,
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm glad we just didn't get in any backstories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have been more interested in the vampires.
Yeah.
Is it true? Not true. I mean, in
It's
vampire
true.
in vampire lore, I was in the belief, at least from the early vampire movies I watched, that during the day you had to get back into your coffin and you went to sleep,
And that's
not
why
just have
Sir,
windows
Not
closed.
the movies when you were a kid.
You know what I mean? But when my grandparents were
Well,
kids.
no.
You know what I mean? I thought that was always, even in Fright Night, he was
I mean,
asleep during the day.
I
also,
thi-
like,
This was just like, I just got to have the windows closed
Right,
and
but,
everything's
like,
fine.
This
Hold
isn't
on, but
this
also,
isn't
like-
gothic horror. Like,
no, but also like freaking Twilight. He glistens in the sun. Like, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
There's
I'm just
variations.
curious. 'Cause I felt
yeah.
like they were following all the vampire stuff. Then all of a sudden they were like going, "Yeah, well, in this version, we just have to be as long as the car's tinted,
Well,
we're
I think
good.
it's just the- I
it
think
As long
was
as we have
pretty
like
dark.
blankets over our heads, we
I
can't
think
be
it's
killed."
just the sunlight, but like I said, I think like each decade or each thing is kind of like it kind of just reinvents itself or tries something a little different. Like I get what you mean, where you had the coffins, and then even in like the Lost Boys, they turned into bats when they
Yeah.
sleep. I think it's
I'm not saying it's bad.
no,
I'm
no,
just
no.
saying,
but I think like I said, I
It's not
feel
what you're
like
used
what are the
to.
rules here, man?
Yeah.
They seem very loosey goosey. The rules.
Lucy.
just stay out of the
Goosey.
sunlight and you have to feed.
That was pretty much it. Just stay out of the sunlight.
Yeah.
But like I said, but I feel like it's kind of just going with the whole like
And they
with
didn't
them,
have fangs either.
with them being like outlaws,
You didn't
and I think
see
it.
it.
I never saw any fangs on
Yeah.
anybody.
No, but you know what you do see, and it was
It was
disgusting.
low budget.
The mosquito in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
that was cool. That was
Have
cool.
you ever like smushed a freaking mosquito though?
No.
That happens. Blood.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
well, yeah,
they're
they're
full
full
of
of it.
blood, man. That's what
Yeah.
they do. They suck your blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think the rules were. I mean, I guess that's one way that they avoided too many questions about the rules is that they didn't
Didn't seem to have any.
They didn't set up too many except for the sunlight thing. But they did also kind of ignore that in the end because May doesn't really like
I know.
explode like the rest of them,
I know.
even though she's like in direct sunlight.
I know. I
was-
mean, it was very
You mean she has plot armor on?
kind of
It
making it up as we go.
It was definitely a narrative decision, but
But, like I said,
But- Oh, sorry. I was going to just say, and I want you to go on, but that scene you're talking about where he's first time she cuts herself open or tears herself open and he sucks, very sexual. And vampires have always been really sexual. Even if you
Yeah.
watch
Interview
the
with the vampires.
Oh.
Hello.
crazy, right?
so much sex.
If you ever
Between
Never
Brad
seen
and
it.
Tom.
No,
Yes.
but seriously, going in and out. But seriously, if
literally.
you ever see like the 1930
No.
31 Bela Lugosi, the original Dracula movie.
Yeah.
It has this really sexual feel to it. Like he has
Yeah.
these like women that are his little vampirettes or whatever, and they're all very scantily dressed. He's always going after these
From dusk
gorgeous
till
women.
dawn.
All he's fighting are beautiful women to turn them into his brides. So it's always had that, and I thought this movie, at least with those two, maintained that kind of feel. I didn't
Yeah.
feel like with the other vampires that was really a thing. Like they
No.
weren't like going after. Like, it wasn't a sexual thing.
Yeah.
It was just I gotta eat.
I mean,
But
it's a
it's-
very common like connection with vampires being like a
creature. I know.
like
Where
they're
they're
like
sucking.
they're a stand-in for like sexual frustration and
Yeah.
The
expression.
fetish.
So I get the love story thing, but like I have to also agree with you guys where I don't think you had to choose one or the other, but I think the balance that they decided to do and then just the contents of the love stuff itself like wasn't really that strong. So it kind of
Right.
instead of meshing well with the other things, it kind of pulls you out of everything because it's like, oh, this isn't really good. I'd
Right.
rather get back to the other thing. Whereas they could have done more to meld the
Yeah.
two.
It was just a lot of him trying to run away and her trying
Yeah.
to chase him back. That was it.
And him
Yeah.
just being sick and
Yeah.
turning into a vampire, but never really fully becoming a vampire, but kind of becoming a vampire. I mean, I guess it takes a long
He's
time.
near dark.
But not
There you
totally
go.
dark.
See, we got it. We figured it out in Near Dark. He was
A lot of
about to be dark.
crouching over, grabbing his stomach, and drooling, and stuff coming out of his mouth. It was
Yeah, that was
a lot of that
gross.
stuff. A lot of
Kid, can you give me $3?
that. That scene was
The train scene.
I'm about
the
to
bus.
arrest
I think it was
you.
a bus station or was it a train?
Bus
was
station.
bus
bus.
station.
Bus.
And I'm going to arrest you. Oh, no, here's $3. Just get
Yeah.
out of here, buddy. Come
On-
here, you
We don't want no
knucklehead.
trouble. We don't want no trouble.
In one hand, I have $3. In the other, I have a handcuff set. Which one would you like?
The $3 one.
That should have been
God
the
damn
scene.
it.
That should have been the scene. That would have been better.
It would have been more interesting for sure. Like,
I think the dialogue really did distract in many scenes. The dialogue really distracted this
it wasn't
movie.
a strength for
It
sure.
was like, I wrote a note here where I said,
That note has words.
Words.
Word.
I said the idea of this movie is way better than the actual writing of this movie.
Yeah,
Like
that's-
if I just pitch the idea, that's a cool idea. But the execution solely on the writing, mostly the dialogue,
Yeah.
but just also the writing, just the choices they made. Not good. Not that good.
I think I agree in the sense where I feel like this is it's no secret. It's a very average script that is I think but the film I think is strengthened and we've talked about this before from the direction from I think the cast, the acting, the way it's shot. I think to me, because I think it's a very well shot and directed movie, I think it elevates a somewhat. If this were like a less talented filmmakers behind it, the movie would be long forgotten by now. And I don't think anyone, I don't think,
No, I don't know what you're trying to say.
I'm saying
I think the movie is forgotten, quite frankly. I don't think anybody does it.
what I'm just saying is I think like
because of directing, whatever.
well the
whatever.
directing I think it
right.
elevates the
Yeah.
movie
Yeah.
itself.
I think I agree with you. I agree, but I mean, I think the cast was good. I don't think they overcame the writing. I don't think you can overcome bad dialogue. I'm sorry. Great actors can't take bad dialogue and make it work.
Have you seen Street Fighter?
It really doesn't. I really found myself many times going, "What? What are they saying? What? This is terrible dialogue.
If we were to watch it when it first released, would we have the same opinion on the dialogue?
I think
I feel like in this case, probably
I think
because
so, because the movies I would go ahead. Sorry.
no. I think we're gonna say the same thing, so I'd rather you
Well,
say
no,
it.
I was just going to compare other movies from that era that
Yeah.
I thought are really good.
Written
Fright
well,
Night,
yeah.
American Werewolf, and both those movies offer something. This movie really
Monster
needed
Squad.
more. They needed more humor. This movie would have really, really benefited from a little more just self-effacing humor. You know,
Yeah, there wasn't really any humor in there.
it really would have, and it could have so easily been there.
I think
They
were
just
relying
decided
on,
not to do it.
on Paxton's character to because he was kind of like
He wasn't
Right.
funny though. I
yeah,
mean,
but he was like so outrageous that
But-
I think they were trying to make him comical, but I agree it didn't work.
I think it was actually kind of what Dan said. It wasn't a great script. It wasn't great lines. I think Bill Paxton was fully aware that, hey, like my character and these are not well written.
He's just
I think it
playing
was
it up.
him just hamming it up and
I
having
agree.
fun
Yeah.
I agree.
with it. So I think, to a certain, I mean, obviously to a certain extent, I think sometimes you. No, I'm not gonna say. I was gonna say something you can kind of get around bad writing a little bit.
I think the vampires could kind of a little bit, but
Yeah.
not our main characters.
yeah,
not
and-
that's where it just completely exposes itself as a badly written script.
And it depends on the movie too, because I'm like you're saying, hamming it up. If you had a character in like, I don't know, like a Godfather, it's like, oh, the script was bad, and they're hamming it up. It'd be just like, what is this actor doing
Right.
in this movie? Like, if it's a campy movie, like the example is Street Fighter.
Would-
You'll see when you watch the movie.
No,
It's on the list
No.
for a few reasons.
But we don't have to pick it.
Have you seen it?
no, but I've played the game.
Oh no!
Oh Lord!
the movie's
Another video game turned into a movie.
Yes, but
No,
this
same
one's
title.
old.
And they took this movie is based off a video game, and then they made a video game based off the movie, based off the game.
It's
I feel like we've gone down this road before.
We have.
Dan, but you want
What's
you want to
first,
know
this
why
or
we're
Super
gonna watch
Mario?
it? Because it's the very last film that Raul Julia acted in.
Oh, we gotta see.
And
it
he was
then.
the
Yes.
villain.
I love me some Raul Julia.
he
No.
was the
He's good.
No,
Not
he
only-
was the villain in the movie, and it's a terrible.
He's great in this movie. It's terrible, but he's great.
I'm gonna be sick that week, so I won't be there.
I'm sorry, Sam. You can watch a movie in bed when you're sick.
Yes,
That's
Sam.
the problem with this job we have. You can
Hey,
actually
you
still
know-
watch the movie
hey,
when
you
you're
know,
sick.
Dan-
I don't have
did.
to come here. I don't have to come here.
for new listeners or people who have not watched the episode,
That's all right.
listen to of the episode of
Watch us listen to the
no,
episode.
Dan, what was the
It
movie
was
you loved?
the movie in
Battle
Japan.
Royale.
Battle Royale. If you listen to our episode of Battle Royale, it proves Sam wrong because Dan was bedridden,
Bed-stricken and ridden.
bedstricken,
I was
bedridden,
so sick.
and he ended up loving the movie.
I did. I
I
loved
think
it.
it was his favorite movie that we've seen.
Maybe
It's
that's
one of
the
my
key,
favorite
Sam.
movies. I have
Just to be
recommended that
sick?
movie to so
Yeah.
many people, and I don't know if it's
All
actually
right.
even good, but I loved it when I saw it.
You know what? Don't go back to it so you won't ruin it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want
Oh,
to.
yeah.
I don't want to Anzio that
Yeah.
movie.
So
That should be our new phrase. Oh yeah, I Anzio
Yeah,
that
don't
movie.
Anzio
I
it.
totally Anzio that movie, man.
You know what risk I took with that Galaxy Quest?
you
I-
Really?
love
I
that movie.
love
I
that
know, and then
movie.
I thought I wasn't gonna like it when I was rewatching. I was like, oh no,
I
it's
can see that.
way better. The
You
second,
know
like
that is a tragedy. That movie because it
when the
should have
alien,
made
yup,
a ton of money.
I think
That
it's-
thing should have been such a hit.
I'm gonna tell you this: it's the best Star Trek movie ever made.
I would agree with you. It's not just a clever idea; it's a really good execution
Oh,
on
yeah.
I
a
agree.
really clever idea. And that cast, everything. We saw that movie opening weekend. So what? Nathan
98,
was
98,
maybe
you said
97.
98.
8, 9
Yeah.
years old. Molly would have been 7.
I was 8.
We loved it.
Yeah.
We all walked out going, and they didn't even get the context of what they were watching. That's how good that movie
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, you don't
It
You don't
was
even
the
need to
same-
know. You
Same
just
with me.
you just get the idea. There's stars on a TV show, and they're
And that's-
mistakenly thought as being real on another
That's
planet.
why I loved it when I watched it when I was older, because when the alien was dying and they were talking about,
Oh.
I was like, damn, this is
All right.
deep.
It's hitting.
It is
Confession-
so
It
well
hits.
done.
Confession time, and for you listeners, you should go on our Satellite 12 Instagram page, and you will see we do short films, and we're working on a feature too. For a lot of our first draft of Here and There with Roger Garland, I was channeling a lot of Tim Allen and Alan Rickman from Galaxy Quest as these, especially Alan Rickman as these has-beens. With a lot of the stuff in the first act, I kept channeling Galaxy Quest.
Interesting.
I could
I
see
Yeah.
don't know that.
Yeah, fun fact.
So we're
You
ripping up
cheat?
Galaxy Quest.
no,
so
I'm just saying
It's called an homage,
No,
okay?
it-
Oh, I'm
no,
sorry.
I was looking
That's how
at
you
Quest
don't
of
get
the
sued.
Galaxy.
it was looking at the historical documents.
All right,
Historical-
Eli Roth.
Yeah, I
No,
mean
that was-
that's the kind of movie we should never do because all we'll do is we'll just
Gush over
it'll
it.
just be a gush love fest.
Gush
for-
all
for-
over it.
for
It's
an hour.
called it's
No.
called
The
video.
movie.
It's called Video Quest.
But it is though. It's sad that movie did not get its financial due. It should have been a
They
gigantic
were gonna
hit.
do a sequel, or
Thank
they were
God
gonna
they
do,
did not.
No, they were gonna do. They were
Yeah,
gonna do.
there was no sequel
No,
there.
No.
or I think they were gonna do that, or they're gonna do a show, but when Alan Rickman passed away, and they were like,
R.I.P.
they're like, no, we're not doing
Love
it.
Alan
Good.
Rickman.
Speaking of movies that didn't get their financial due, Near Dark.
Yeah, Near Dark was a box office flop that found its
I am
success in home
shocked.
video.
What was the budget?
$5 million.
$5 million. It
And how
made
much
like
did they make?
3.
3.
Oh wow.
$5,087,000. That's a decent budget.
That's like
Yeah.
10, 15 million
That's
now.
a decent budget because there wasn't nobody got
No.
paid a lot
Well,
of money
and
to
I
be
mean,
in
this
it.
isn't. So this is technically Bigelow's solo directorial debut, but she actually directed or co-directed movies before then. And one of the first movies she co-directed was called, I believe it was called Lossless.
I don't know.
And I don't know, The Lossless, I think. It's a biker movie, but it's William Dafoe's first movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
What?
Right on.
Can you
Yes.
add that to the
I
beep?
just might, actually. It kind of sounds interesting.
What else are we? I mean, I'm not trying to cut us off here, but are we good to do final
I think
thoughts?
I'm good.
I
I
think
mean,
we're
I
good.
feel like we've exercised the
Oh, wait, can we
demons
talk
of
about
this film.
Can
Yeah.
we talk about the transfusion thing? Like the minute
I
he
mean, I was going to
mentioned
put that in
it,
my
God.
final notes, but yeah, sure. I mean, Sam and I did a look
Hey,
at each
Dad.
other.
Can you do transfusions on humans?
yeah, don't you do that?
And what could just come out. I'm gonna say though, the dad when it first showed him and we didn't see a close up from him far away yelling, I was convinced. Jennifer and I looked at each other, and Jennifer and I were like, "Is that the dad from Troll 2?"
I've never seen
Ouch.
Troll 2
You
before.
will. Never seen Troll 1.
I'm gonna let everyone know we will never cover that movie on the podcast.
Thanks,
Troll
I'm
God.
2.
sure with great relief. Who, if they're listening to this podcast of
They've
this
probably
movie,
seen it. Everyone.
Yeah, I'm probably-
it's
probably
been
seen
a
it.
yeah.
It's the cultiest of cult
Yeah.
movies.
yeah, the transfusion was
There.
wow.
An ass pull? Yes.
Wow.
And just that montage
I mean,
of
an
him
ass
like
pull for sure.
And it just worked.
Oh, and in
It
a
was
in a
fine.
barn,
First
by the
try.
way.
in a barn,
Yeah.
and he was fine.
He did this in a cave with a pile of junk.
Not
And it was
only
like-
did he do it once,
so-
he did it twice.
So this transfusion
Flawlessly.
was like, I'm going to give you all of my blood and take all of your blood where? I'm trying to figure out where
In the
all
barn.
It's mixed
somewhere.
in the tin.
We saw it drip, drip,
See,
drip,
there's the
drip.
bucket right
Yeah.
there. It's full now. Please
Yeah.
dispose of your bucket of blood.
Yeah,
It's
we don't
next to
want
the
to touch
spit
this
bucket.
blood. This is infected blood. Should have had a cow come and drink it.
Oh,
in
that's the
background.
end.
And
That's
then
the
that's
end.
the end, right.
contagion.
There you go.
Oh,
Oh, it's a
Contagion is
it's-
a
Hey,
sequel.
instead of
Contagion.
near dark, near dairy.
Contagion. I saw Contagion the week
that COVID hit.
COVID
Yeah.
hit.
No way.
Yes.
A lot of people
No,
said
no, no.
it
You
actually
started it.
was very
Oh, you
successful.
went? No, you watched it because of COVID?
Hang on, I'll tell you the story.
Story
So,
time.
Somebody I was working with said, "Oh, we should all watch Contagion." So we did, and I remember watching it, thinking, remember like the whole thing where the military takes over and you have to
I've
get
never
your
seen
food
it.
Never seen it.
ration.
Yeah, I've never
Oh,
seen it.
So the military takes over. That there's food rationing, and this Jonathan Avila.
Yeah.
Jonathan says to me, "That's going to happen to us."
Of course
and
he said
behold.
And I
that.
said, "No." He goes, "Oh yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen to us." It was creepy to see it then. That movie was creepy.
We had the similar situation.
It's not a good movie, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
We were because during quarantine we were pretty much in the same pot. So we did a lot of movies in my patio.
Right.
We watched this movie called The Bay,
Oh, my God.
and it was a mockumentary on like
A bay? That could,
the bay
with a
that
virus.
got infected, and if you drink from it, like people swim in it, whatever, they get zombie-like things. But it was very similar to COVID.
And the responses and everything?
Yeah, like everything shut down. So after the movie, all three
Did
of
you
us.
lose your taste?
I don't remember.
For film.
Okay, I'm just
For
asking.
film.
For movie making.
And then so me, Travis, and Jen afterwards were like, "This is terrifying.
Oddly
So then
specific.
we
I
ended.
know.
So then we ended up. Didn't we just end up watching something? You ended
I think
up
it was The
watching
Holiday.
The Holiday, where I fell asleep on the hammock. I was like, oh, I'm tired.
Yeah.
So
Cleanser.
Holiday.
It's
I still
really
have
great,
not
yeah.
seen The Holiday.
You ever see Outbreak? Dustin Hoffman?
Yes.
Same. It's like Contagion.
Oh,
Same basic
I'm
idea.
infected.
That's Ebola though. That's very specific.
Oh,
okay. So speaking of specific, Dan, what would you specifically give this movie?
Well, I haven't even.
I know. I'm just kidding.
I'll give you my final thoughts.
What would your specific?
Are we done with transfusions? We
I
are.
know.
Well, yeah, they're easy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
what
try
was
it.
No, because
Apparently,
he goes,
that
transfusion.
ends your vampireness.
And it literally looked.
It took like 10 minutes.
It literally
Felt
looked
like it.
It literally looked like, you know, when like those like slapstick or comedy movies when they're in like a hospital and someone's in a closet and they trip or they knock stuff over. It always has that stock like clear hose. He just had like one of those hoses and like a barrel, and they're like, "All right, let's do this transfusion."
You know what'd be funny if like
You're right.
it was scientifically accurate and we're just shitting all over it.
That'll work.
Well, there would have to be vampires first of all.
Yeah.
Let's start there.
Well, I have something to tell you, Dan.
Yikes.
Near dark.
Near dark.
Near Bennington.
Actually, now that I'm looking at the poster, I'm pretty sure we had the VHS for this. And
That's what I'm looking
whenever
at.
I'd seen it, I was like, ew, I don't want to watch that.
Mm-hmm.
Shuffle that to the back.
I thought you
Ooh,
said.
look, Aladdin too.
I thought you said your parents went to a screening, an early preview
They
screening.
probably
Frank's parents watch our
They
episode.
screens.
Listen to our episode on Paranormal Activity.
they don't even listen to this episode. This
All right,
podcast.
everyone.
Dan, final thoughts.
You know, I didn't share really any of my notes. Isn't that funny?
So do
Really?
it now.
Read them all.
Do
I
it
didn't either.
now.
There's so much I didn't.
Do it now.
I could,
Is it
I could
because
just
you-
read my notes and give you the final score.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Oh, my first note. Oh, a Dino De Laurentiis movie, the King Kong guy.
You brought that up.
Yeah. When I was in college, one of my best friends had a Ford pickup truck just like that guy has. Oh, of course, his truck won't start, just like my friend in college. I love vampire lore. It's the same in every movie. Ooh, in this version, they don't have to be asleep at night. They just need to be in that Winnebago that's got shades on the windows.
You brought
Vampires are very sexual. None of that's kind of real. I don't know what that even means. Even in the original Dracula with Bela Lugosi, very sexual. 1931. Oh, suck that blood while that oil wells are pumping, buddy.
Oh my. Oh,
Did you
it
notice
was.
that? Those oil
yeah.
wells are boom, 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 boom.
Get it?
boom,
It's
boom.
it's.
Oh,
they
yeah, I
were
got it. They were pumping while he was.
Also
While
pumping.
she was pumping. I'm not
Gross.
digging the father and daughter B story. Not even sure why it's important. Well, later we found out for the transfusion. The idea of this movie is way better than the writing. This movie kind of sucks, but it also kind of sucks. Bonnie and Clyde meet Dracula. That's how I saw it anyway.
It's almost like
A blood transfusion, question mark? 3 out of 5 flaming vampires. That's what I
I
gave
thought you were
it.
gonna say
Nice.
3 out of 5. I had a friend in
Flaming
college.
vampires.
Flaming.
Hello!
Flaming.
You know what? We should do a gay vampire movie called The Thirst.
Oh.
Hello.
I'm famished. I gave it 3 out of 5, which I think is a very generous score. Honestly, I was going 2.5, and I thought, I kind of just sort of, I had sort of fun. I did kind of
Yeah.
have fun.
All right, Dan.
I was never like going. I was never bored. Let's put it that way.
And
I was disappointed.
And let me tell you why you're wrong.
Well,
Oh,
you're going
boy.
last. This was your
I'm just
movie,
kidding.
Sam.
I,
You're going last for sure.
as you guys can see, I don't have my iPad with me because I did not write any notes. I just wrote the title of the movie, the date I watched it, and then I fell asleep.
And then you watched it again this
And
morning.
then I had to watch it again.
I was gonna say, that'd be so funny. I actually have never seen this movie.
Yeah, so I'm just riffing
near awake.
near sleep. So I watched it at work, and then I realized I missed a good chunk of it. I missed the intro for all of the vampires. I think I agree with you. It's fun, yes. I don't think I'll watch it again because it's just drag and pull and whatnot. I don't think I can go through that.
No.
Again, fun. It's whatever. I give it 3 bloody holes out of 5.
Ooh, bloody holes.
Vampires and anyway, I will say that I also had fun. I don't think I would watch it again by choice.
Trav's gonna make you watch it
But
again.
if it was playing if it was playing in a theater, I would.
He hates
I
us
wouldn't.
right now.
No,
So it's funny. We're gonna do a revisit. We're gonna revisit previous episodes.
In next week.
I would rewatch it if it was at like a revival house just to see it on film. I
Beyond
thought.
Fest.
That would be spending
Beyond
money.
Fest would be nice.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna spend it.
Okay.
I'll just find a vampire hitchhiking and get them to buy me a ticket.
Bus ticket.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you don't need to see it again.
I really enjoyed the music. The cinematography was really nice. I took notice, not because the movie brought attention to it, but I've been noticing a lot of lighting setups, and lately, just to further inform our own work, I'm trying to see or trying to figure out where the lighting would be in a certain shot to achieve the look. So I thought a lot of the lighting that they did in this movie was really well done.
It's a lot of shadows.
A lot of shadows, but like not a lot of a lot of it's really subtle. But it enhances the movie, especially since most of it's set at night. And as we've come to find out with recent night shoots, that's really hard.
Well, there is.
And it brings a lot of complications. I thought a lot of the potential setups they used combined with the shots speaks to a really well directed and set up production. It's just a shame that the writing isn't up to par with that, because the acting, for the most part, except for and I'm gonna agree with you there, even though it was a setup for the transfusion, the dad and daughter stuff, I didn't really care for them as actors. I didn't really care for the plot.
Oh, you're agreeing with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I think
So unnecessary.
I think if they were removed, you could say that the acting across the board was generally good to really good. But on a technical level, in other aspects, minus the writing and some of the acting, I think the movie's really well done. Really, really well done, especially the bar scene. The bar scene is my favorite scene of the movie, and it's the one scene that I can point to and be like, oh, this is a good movie.
It felt very Natural Born Killers to
Yes,
me.
Yeah.
yes, it did.
So,
Yeah.
Frank, speaking of the nighttime scene,
Yeah.
I will say some of the things that really, really, really stuck out for me were when they were trying to, I don't know if it was intentional, was when they were doing the day for night scenes.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I've got to
That's
say.
it.
Because I didn't want to interrupt.
Okay, so where do you rank this, Frank?
I'm gonna parrot you guys and give it a 3.
Okay,
3 out
cool.
of 5.
Give it away.
Burning children.
Oh, that's so sweet.
That's cool.
I think, though, before Travis wraps this up, I feel like
Get over here, Dan.
can't you? I feel like maybe I could be wrong, but I feel like you can get away with more stuff when you shoot it at night. You're not because you're not seeing as much. It's like, why do they always put fight scenes in the rain? Because you can just disguise so much stuff when it's raining. And I feel like at night you can just disguise a lot of things.
You
Because
can.
you're just literally light. And I get the lighting issues for sure, but you're just lighting what you're shooting, or
Yeah.
So you're saying we should shoot more at night for practice?
Yes, for sure.
it.
I agree.
I think it does present a good
outside
challenge.
night, not
Yeah.
inside night. Yeah.
Inside, outside nights.
Near
Well,
dark.
here and there.
That's the sequel
with
to Near
Roger
Dark.
Garland takes place a lot at night too.
Yes, it is. I can't wait for us to shoot that
Me either.
at night.
I just can't wait
Celebrities'
to be up
houses.
and
That's
have a call time at
10 p.m.
6:30 in the evening and get out at
5
4 in the
a.m.
morning.
All right, Travis.
Okay.
Travis.
Just the rating. Thank you.
Travis
No.
Ruiz.
That's
said
not my last
no.
name.
Reese. Sorry,
Reese.
Reese.
So,
Sanchez.
when I first...
Gomez.
Stop. What are you doing? When...
Your turn.
About the time, Sam, when I had told you to revisit, and I think that's why I kind of been wanting to revisit, is because I was like, I remember kind of liking this movie, but I don't remember anything about the movie.
Yeah, you said that. Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think it's, you all kind of nod on the coffin. It's
The
not,
coffin they never used
yeah.
in the movie
I
to
don't-
sleep at night
I don't
or during
think,
the day.
I mean, this movie has its obvious weaknesses, some of the writing, especially, but I think, kind of like how Frank said, I think you get Kathryn Bigelow, who's very good at her craft, and it's you can, and I feel like that I feel like the filmmaking itself and the technical aspects of this movie, like I even like the makeup a lot. I think elevate it, but I think that's all I kind of remember now after the movie when I think back, being like, oh yeah, the look of the movie was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the direction of the movie was cool. I just don't remember what this movie's about.
Yeah.
At all. And I even found myself, last night I did fall asleep a little bit
Yeah.
watching it.
Yeah.
I broke it into 2 parts.
Yeah.
I watched like about 45 minutes, had dinner,
Yeah.
and then I watched the rest of the
Because
movie.
it was like
it was
only
better for me to do that,
an
honestly.
hour and what, 26?
An
An hour 36?
37, I
Something
think.
like
So
that.
I thought I could really. It's fine. No, it felt like a 2-hour movie.
I needed a
It did,
break
it
after
definitely felt longer.
After
Yeah.
45 minutes, I needed to take a break.
Yeah.
But
Sorry, Travis. Go
no,
ahead.
what I'm saying, and I don't know, like I said, I'm going to say this. If any of you at home or any of you now correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like this was one of the first movies I had seen, especially, I didn't see it, obviously I wasn't alive in 1987, but I feel like it kind of inspired some of the, like, we're on the road, kind of like Midwestern, like horror movies, like traveling around. Like another one is another vampire movie, John Carpenter's Vampires. I think when I think of Dr. Sleep and the kind of traveling
Yeah.
group of
Oh,
people.
the like nomadic.
Yeah, the nomadic.
villain.
Another one I think of is a little bit is like very loosely is like Bones and All. Like
I
a
can
little
see
bit.
that.
I
You're right.
really
Slow ass movie.
yeah. And
Oh, hold on 1 second. Hello? Oh, here, someone wants to correct you because you're wrong.
okay.
Anzio was the first movie that did.
We just Anzio'd this movie.
Continue.
Go on.
I know. Are you finished?
That was my gag, man. Quick, in, out.
Ugh.
It wasn't good.
Again,
It
vampires.
wasn't good in and out.
That's what a hamburger's all about.
Just wrap it
And
up.
I'm gonna say I'm very glad because Frank kept bringing up the bar scene, and I kept thinking my item was gonna get brought up, but it never got brought up.
Oh, thank God for that.
I was originally thinking like also too
jukebox.
like 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
Shotguns.
4.8.
For me, no. I
Spurs.
think this movie I'm gonna rate it a little higher. I will give it.
Balls.
Did you say balls?
I will give it
Like
3.
the pool table.
Oh, I will give it 3.5 mugs full of blood
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Nice.
out of 5. I love that. Just give me the mug. I don't need the bottle.
I knew
Nice.
exactly where it was going when we said that. That was cool.
So it's like whatever. You already guessed it.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm just glad that they went through with it because it
Yeah.
was a cool moment
So
for
style
scene.
over substance, everyone.
yeah.
Style over substance.
What do you want?
I'm just saying that's what I think a lot
He's
of
saying,
this movie
he's saying
is.
stuff.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
For sure.
It was a good exercise
It's
in style.
funny when we think about Hurt Locker, too, because that bar scene, kind of the way it's shot and everything, I'm not talking about what happens in this scene, but the way it's shot feels very Hurt Locker.
Yeah.
Like,
Would you revisit this movie?
if you can find another friend and make them watch
I
it.
agree with Frank if they ended up showing this at like
Alamo
Beyond.
Draft House party.
I don't know if I'd go all the way to Alamo.
Really? Just even for
Well,
a party?
it depends if it's on the weekend maybe, but during the week.
Okay.
Just because
Okay.
Alamo Draft House is
Oh, that
Oh,
scared
my.
the shit.
Alamo Draft House is downtown. It's really hard. But like I was thinking too, if they showed it at like the Arrow or the Egyptian, like one of those, I'd go.
Q&A with Bill Paxton.
Well, because when I first saw this movie too, I think
Ooh, R.I.P.
I think because of all the
I would go for that.
just give him a blood transfusion, he'll come back to life.
there you
I
go.
think because, like I said, when I first saw this movie, I saw it at the theater at CSUN, so I had all the bells and
What's the
whistles
Amundsen
going.
Theater?
No,
Not the Amundsen. What's it called?
I forget, but the
Yeah.
I don't want to keep going here, but why did blowing up Bill Paxton kill him? Why didn't he just walk
There's
out?
fire.
I
You burn.
I literally waited for him to walk out
It's
of
a
those
ki-
flames, just
he-
totally
he-
like
it's
charred,
like a
but still
Terminator.
alive. Yeah, I really
Like,
thought that was
I thought it
gonna
was going to be the scene
when
in the
they showed
Terminator.
that scene where the hero guy's down on the ground and the flames are behind him, I literally thought Bill
He was gonna
Paxton was
come
going to
out.
walk out of that, just completely
At
charred.
one point,
Well,
he's
but
you
gonna
still
know,
end.
there.
you know, fire is very hot.
I think it made sense
I'll
in
take note of that.
retrospect. Once you see Homer blow up, you're like, oh, he probably
Yeah.
blew up after that. But I also thought the same thing Also,
I
that
think I
truck
fell
exploded
asleep.
like super fast.
It sure did.
So did you like the foreshadowing? How like the Chekhov's gun, where it's like when they're tugging the truck over,
yeah.
he goes, you gotta brake twice. You gotta brake the back of the truck.
It was
first."
fairly obvious that
Yeah,
they were
you knew
setting that
something
up
was gonna
for
happen with
Winter
the
I
Soldier.
don't remember that part.
But before we leave, everyone, before
think
we
I knocked
say
out.
I don't
bye,
either.
remember this movie was almost going to be remade in 2006
Really?
by Platinum Dunes and Brad Fuller and all those guys that produced the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake.
Massacre?
Wait, Brad
Oh,
Fuller produced the remake?
No, not Brian. No. I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I got my name
Because
mixed
Brad
up.
Fuller does good work.
Yeah, Brad Fuller was the guy from.
Wait, was it the Netflix remake?
No.
Talking
I'm
about the
talking about
2022 Netflix remake.
Or the
No,
Jessica Biel?
Jessica Biel.
Oh, that one was okay.
Yeah, that's nothing to get excited about.
Oh no, I wasn't excited at all.
Yeah, they don't need to remake this movie.
Nope.
We're good.
Nope.
Actually,
Okay.
I think James
feel
Cameron
like
should
they
remake it.
Maybe could because there's room for improvement, but I don't think it's necessary.
I don't.
Yeah.
Bradley Fuller is a producer, not Brad Fuller.
You missed it by one
All
syllable.
right.
Missed it
Yeah,
by
this is
3
Platinum
letters.
Dunes. This is Platinum. And Samuel Bayer, who I don't know what he made, but he was attached to direct it.
Wait, Samuel Bayer. That sounds familiar. I think he directed something. I think he did direct like a horror remake.
Hey, why don't we bring the old crystal skull to the middle of the table and let's pick
Oh.
our movie for next
Does,
week.
Can
does
I
everyone at, does everyone
Have
at,
you- yeah.
I've
Hang
never
on,
picked.
drum roll, please.
Oh, he did the Nightmare on Elm Street remake.
There we
Okay,
go.
we're done.
And the next movie is.
Oh, please let it be Mary Poppins. Please
Big
let it be
Mama's
Mary
House.
Poppins.
Please let it be something interesting.
Ah, you're next.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Dan's face lit up. You're next.
You're
You're
next.
next.
Ay,
You
ay,
are
ay.
next.
What does that
All
mean?
my life I've been looking for the
There's a
magic.
movie called You're Next.
Yeah.
Yes,
Jen
there
needs
is.
to be on this one.
You can ask her.
Bring Jen on.
You can ask her.
You're
Yes,
Next.
there is.
You
All
are
right,
next.
we're doing a movie called You're Next. What year was it made?
2012.
2011. Oh, yeah. I think it
11,
came out in
12?
2012.
We already have controversy. Who's in it?
Joe Mama.
Actually, Ty West is in it. He's the director of X and Pearl.
All right.
He's in it, or he?
He's in it. He's not
I
the
don't
lead
remember.
role, but he's.
You're
But no one, no, you wouldn't know
Next.
anyone on there
Oh,
Yeah,
can't
no,
wait.
it's-
because the lead's Australian.
All right, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Please like us, share us, review us, tell your friends about us.
Just tell everyone. Be like, you know what I was doing this week? I was listening to Strangers in the Alps.
A whole lot of nothing.
A
movie
movie
podcast.
A Clash Parker.
And you know what else you should do? Go on YouTube and check out Satellite 12 Presents The Survey.
Yeah, the survey's out.
And we're presenting it.
Ba-da-da-da-ba-da. And
Roger
Video
Garland's
Express.
Video Express.
So we got stuff going on, guys. Okay, thank you. This has been great. Another episode of Strangers in the Alps, a movie podcast.
About movies.
I'm Dan.
I'm
Travis.
Sam.
I am
if
Frank.
he's being frank.
And we are
Ew.
Oot.
Why is it so hard for you to just say your name?
Because I know what annoys you.